Dad and I have begun a Youth to Gold challenge versus each other, where we can only sign teenagers and we're not allowed to use players 30 or above as we go into season number 7. And season number 6 ended with me just finishing higher than Dad for the consecutive second season, and with my new winger turned striker Gilherm thriving and scoring goals. However, staying above Dad when he has Duarte, who he's recently signed in season 6, is going to be really tough, as the £1 million man got 14 goals and 10 assists in his first season. I began looking for my own superstar, and I found Ronaldo Jr., who might be out of my price range for now, but I'll send a scout anyway. Dad might be in trouble though, because Duarte has a £60 million release clause and won't sign a new deal at the minute. Could he be out the door with the likes of Hector Ramirez from Levante? I was trying to lock down my star players too to deals with bigger release clauses, but came across a problem where the contract would make the total salary exceed our limit. The board have allowed me though to up the transfer revenue from player sales. More exits for Levante as Dad finally sells Ivan Romero for £15 million. And when the season got underway, I was playing Real Madrid in the early fixtures, and somehow I was sailing away with 3 points from a 2-1 win where both of my centre midfielders scored absolute bangers in the process. Dad actually opened the season yet again with Real Madrid and couldn't replicate my success. But then deadline day came around and I was unlucky enough to lose my centre-back to Manchester City, again on a release clause. However, I did manage to creep in a replacement just before the window shut. Right, Dad, some players have left the club. One of them was on deadline day. Damn you, Man City. I mean, I did replace him quite well, to be fair. I think I have replaced him quite well. Also replaced him from another player from Turkey, which is hilarious how things work out. You find another player, and it's from the same country. And it's obviously not a country that we are always buying players from in Youth to Gold. But Tekdal, who was the centre-back, of course, that had very low jump in reach that many of you probably laughed at, went to Manchester City. Now, I didn't get much for him, only £9 million. It's still a profit. Yeah, that's the main thing with Youth to Gold. But I did replace him with Alper Sarri, an 18-year-old. And to be honest, when you look at the two players, I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy with that.
He can jump.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's the same height, but he can jump. Even better. 18 years of age, he's 2 years younger. Cost me just a fraction, a third of the price. So Alper Sarri, welcome to the club, my friend. He is joining a very small amount of players who join me this summer. We've got to the point now where not a lot of players are coming in, and we're just sort of building for the next generation, I think. That's what happens in Youth to Gold. You kind of, you get your first generation, then it's kind of scrambled in with your second. Then when you get you're comfortable in your second generation, you start building for the third. And I think that's the stage that I'm at now. Mercevic has also left 2.5. The failed Lassine Traore. Didn't get much money for him, but yeah, he left the club for a lot less than what I paid for. Yeah,
it was a big loss, wasn't it?
I mean, that's mainly on him.
He failed, didn't he? So no one's going to buy him, really.
Yeah, so we'll blame him. Yeah. So Vivovic has come in, £3.1 million. Another centre-back, Croatian, 18 years of age, not too bad. He can also jump as well, but not great natural fitness for his age there, 18. So he joined in the middle of July. But then we've also got Fabio Ferreira, £2.7 million. A good centre midfield. Obviously, I've got a couple of unbelievable centre mid. Honestly, I genuinely think my centre mids are probably my best players on the pitch right now. So it's just filling in players that can be good off the bench and fill in that time. And he is definitely one of them. He's just turned 20 late August. And then we've got Peter Dusek, who's my first signing, £4.7 million. The Czech player, who is also a good, versatile player. Plays right across the back line.
It's good.
Good pace about him. Not too bad at all. I'm happy with that. His main position, of course, being at right back. Now, we're not changing tactically, keeping it as it was. You can see the last lineup that I played in the last match I played had a certain player who has been sold. So, going straight back into that. Now, my new man, Alper Sarri, will fit in, and we have a full squad again. So that's not too bad at all. I'm not worried as much as what I thought when I was scrambling around on deadline day trying to find a replacement, hoping that time would allow me to bring him in. I'm happy with the lineup. I am. Gilhem, obviously, after a good first season last year, hasn't scored a goal yet in 3 games, but he did get 23 last season, was, of course, the top scorer in both the Europa League and the La Liga. Hopefully, him and Dlada, with Esposito up front, can score some more goals for me. Now, schedule, we haven't played each other yet, so we can show you. But Valencia, I've lost 1-0 to them. Then I go and beat Real Madrid 2-1. So this is...
It's weird, isn't it?
So bizarre.
That's a hell of a result, though.
Yeah. Drawing to Atletico Madrid away is also not a bad one either. And then stuffing Real Sociedad 5-2. So 3 very good results. 1 bad one against your rivals, funny enough.
Yeah.
But, of course, I am in the Champions League next season after that finish. We've got Chelsea in there, which is a difficult one. Liverpool at the end. But other than that, this doesn't look like a Champions League phase.
No, not really, no.
They normally give you 1 or 2 more harder ones than that.
I mean, you got Roma in the middle as well, which I would say is going to be difficult for you. But apart from that, you could possibly go through, I would say.
I'm happy with that. Let's have a look then, Dad. You've had a bit of a busier window. In terms of players going out more than anything, you haven't really sold a lot of players, but this season you have £15 million for Naheem. Of course, he is 23 years of age, but again, just one of those.
He just wasn't cutting it for me, so time to cash in really on him.
Gone.
Yeah.
But Ivan Romero, bit of a sad one really, because he has been scoring so many goals for you. But he's 28. It's time to cash in.
That's right, yeah. And 15 million when well, he was part of my team. He come right through me, so 15 million profit really in it.
19 goals last season will be missed.
That's what I'm worried about, really. He's a good goal scorer, but he takes away one of the foreign positions as well. So
no, he doesn't. That's from El Etihad. He's actually Spanish.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So that's just when he's at El Etihad.
Right, okay.
He takes up their foreign positions. So Idris Selimanovic. Nailed that one,
mate, didn't you?
Bosnian players come in. Centre attacking midfielder kind of replaces Naim, to be honest. Good player as well.
He is a good player, yeah. I'm quite pleased with this player. So, yeah, hopefully he'll do things for me.
Not bad for 9 million.
Nope.
Then we got 2 more that's joined the club, both defensive midfielders.
Yeah, I mean, I have said in the previous videos that you do struggle to get the defensive midfielders. So when 1 or 2 of them come up, I took a gamble and I bought both of them, really. But he can play in centre back as well. Yeah. So it's a chance worth taking, I feel.
He's a weird one because he's naturally at centre back compared to CDM, but you look at his attributes and you think that's a CDM.
Yeah.
He can't jump. He's only 5'10". Positioning is decent of 16, which of course you need for both, but his vision's good and his passing's decent. So he is probably suited more to a DM.
Yeah, and his leadership's quite good as well. When I always feel that your leadership should be a midfielder player because he can see everything.
Yeah. Well, some would say the goalkeeper can see more.
Well, yeah, but I don't like it. He can't. He's not involved enough. I don't feel like a goalkeeper. So
yeah, the beating heart of the midfield.
Yeah.
Guillermo Nunez, though, from Defensa Sporting. This is your signing of the summer.
Yeah, I do believe this is probably my best player that I've signed for a while. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this player.
For a while, after getting Duarte last season for $1 million.
This guy's 2-footed as well, which is and he's strong with his left foot as well. So I like that. And he's another one that's going to be good for that position, but he's got everything in mentals. I feel he's really good. So
yeah, I mean, you look at his physicals for a defensive midfielder. He's got that kind of Kante-ness about him.
Yeah,
the agility and balance. It's very hard to knock him off the ball. He will just turn and he's gone. I used to hate playing against those when they were small and nippy in the middle of the park, and you go, oh, I'll press him, and then all of a sudden they've gone past you. And where did he go?
I mean, he's not that strong, but I think that'll come with age, sort of thing as well. But he's a little bit quick as well, especially the pace of 16. Like you say, he's turning, he's gone. So it's too late then, isn't it?
With the agility and balance of that, he is decent. Not bad at head. Weird attributes. What else is he good at? He can head a ball. Strange, but there we go. He is decent, honest, and he fills in everywhere. To be honest,
really good in the air, and I'm only 5'2".
That's
why I stopped to let you do it.
I was going to go 5 foot. That's generous. I guess.
Oh, really good in the air. So
yeah, and he can play on the wing should you need it. He's a very well-rounded player. Tactically, then, sticking with your 4-2-3-1. Of course,
not let me down so far.
Yeah.
And with Duarte in there, I've got to keep him in that position really. So yeah, they haven't let me down so far. So I'm still pleased with that.
Yeah.
And Nunez goes straight into the team, so I'm happy with that as well. So yeah,
got a couple of injuries, but you've got a nice replacements, 3 to 5 weeks there. 3 4. You'll be back soon. But yeah, there's a couple of injuries. Duarte Levante, of course, every time we look at him, we're kind of in awe about it. I think it's the 20 flair. It's just one of those things, like, whenever you used to look at Messi's profile, you just see all the 20s and stuff. Seeing a 20 in a good attribute is like, whoa.
And to be aggressive with it as well. I do like that as well.
Yeah, so cracking player. Honestly, he's one of the best wonder kids I think I've ever seen at that age.
Yeah.
So hats off to you finding him for so cheap. Now, schedule at the start of the season for yourself, Dad. You haven't. It takes a certain special person to beat Real Madrid, you know.
I just can't believe how many times I've played Real Madrid the first 3 games. And it's always over there as well, isn't it? So
your obligatory trip to Real Madrid. You have beaten, though, Barcelona.
Yes.
So that's a great start.
Yes.
Chris Atherton, Jovanovic getting 2. Shaquille Van Persie, who we've established in this world, is absolute mint for the age as well. He is top scorer quite a few times, but he has got 2 there. And Girona, a nice little 1-0 away win there with Nunez actually scoring the winner. So that's decent. You got Europa League football, Dad, which worries me slightly. After your history in the competition already, winning it. FCSB to kick things off, but then it's Atalanta, which is a difficult one, and Napoli.
Yes.
So
apart from that, 2
tricky ones, but you should be all right.
So you said, but yours, it's quite an easy group to be in.
Yeah.
So I'm very confident, I should say. Not fairly confident. I'm very confident.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
Now, we're quite established now, I would say, in La Liga. We've been in there for a few seasons.
Yeah.
Season preview still puts us around that 7th to 9th. So we've kind of overachieved in the last couple of seasons, and they're still thinking we have the 7th and 9th best team in the league. So we've got to keep proving them wrong.
They're probably looking at our team and saying it's a very young team in it, and with no experience in it.
Yeah,
but,
can't do anything with kids.
That's right. Yeah, but for some people, prove them wrong.
We're here to prove them wrong.
Yes.
So let's find out how we get on then, going into season number 7. It turns out the match between each other wasn't until the start of January, and it was a long wait, but Dad's Levante away from home took away the 3 points of a 2-0 win. Dad was also thriving in the Europa League too, with top in the league phase, but he still finds himself mid-table in La Liga, while I'm currently sat in the top 4. Meanwhile, in the Champions League, I was sat in 16th place with an average league phase, but there's still a chance to progress. That was until I met the Rats of Rennes in the knockout stages, and nothing more needs to be said. I do, however, have an uphill battle to fight, but it could land me in a Copa del Rey final should I overcome the 2-1 deficit I currently have in the second leg. Atletico Madrid, though, were too good, and after being eliminated, I have 4 games left to go, and I need to focus on the league. Dad dropped out of Europa League at the quarter-final stage, so again, for him, it also comes down to the final 4 fixtures to qualify for European competitions. But with 2 wins in the draw for Dad and 3 wins for me on the lead up to the final game, it meant that both teams were in form when we clashed again. However, it was Levante who went home smiling after a 3-0 win, with Duarte scoring a brace. Right, well, a 3-0 drumming on me on the final day of the season has clinched you 6th place, which right now is a European spot because Sevilla looks like they have won the Europa Conference League. Probably would have been a European spot eventually anyway.
Yeah.
I think 6th place might have been given an extra one.
Yeah.
But
I've definitely got it, so that's the
you
main
definitely
thing.
got it.
Yes.
And it's thanks to beating me. And I gave up 3rd place for it, annoyingly, against your rivals.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's tricky. But let's look at the profile of the league. Shaquille Van Persie, again, 34 goals. Esposito, 25. Not too bad at all. But that really is the only name in there. Noah Mikic has got 15 assists, which isn't too bad. Only behind Lamine Yamal and surrounded by Barcelona players, and yet they still can't win the league.
Do you know what? I was just about to say that. Where's the Real Madrid players on there?
Yeah.
And yet they won the league.
They've got Tchouaméni and Courtois up there, but that's about it. And
they won the league.
Yeah, they didn't win it on goal difference.
No.
They won it on head-to-head. So they did not lose. They drew against Barcelona, but by the looks of it, they beat them in the other fixture to manage to clinch the title, both on 94 points. So that was an entertaining finish, I would have said, in La Liga there.
Good season.
Let's have a look at yours first, Dad, because quarterfinals by Napoli.
Yeah.
After beating them in the league phase.
I was disappointed with that. I thought I came top of the group in the league phase, but
5-4 as well.
Disappointed,
it was
really.
all to play for in that second leg after the draw in the first, but they went on to face Newcastle and lost in the final at Cardiff as well. So fairly local for Newcastle, although that's probably still a bit of a drive. Newcastle to Cardiff, but within the same United Kingdom.
Yeah.
But the worst of it is how I was eliminated from the Champions League. Now, Porto and Arsenal still have to play in the final, so fair play to Porto for getting there. But in the knockout playoff round, the horrible Rats of Rennes, they appear again, don't they? They're always only 6 foot away, apparently. And they knocked me out of the knockout playoff round 2-1.
You can always guarantee they're going to pop up somewhere, aren't they?
I just can't believe it.
It always seems to be against you as well, don't they?
Yeah,
against me,
never for you. Yes, it's like karma, isn't it? It's
yeah.
ridiculous, but there we go. I did get to the semi-final of the Copa del Rey as well. Atletico Madrid knocked me out, but they lost to Sevilla. Also, that's how Sevilla got European qualification. They won the Copa del Rey there. But yeah, that's annoying and frustrating for me. But I do get 2 points for finishing higher, but of course, you pick up 2 points for actually beating me in both league games, and that's all that the points wise that happens this season. So honours even as we go into season number 8. But there we go. Gilherm was 24 goals, but Esposito got me 32. Sorry, Gilherm though, the development on that after a couple of seasons. Beautiful, love that. Considering he was just a winger, I think the transition to striker has been great. Deladler looks better to me, but in terms of current ability and performance, doesn't quite get it. Only 13 goals, it's a bit odd. And Iriarte again, not too bad. 12 goals for him this season. Wanted every single year, but I refuse to sell him unless they come in for mega big bucks, I think, at this point. But I'm really happy with Lucas Luque's development, because physically, he is now a monster.
Oh,
we can see.
Yes.
Everything other than natural fitness is up there. But as a defender, that's not too bad. And he's 6'5" as well. So he is a giant at the back, the Argentinian centre-back. You just can't really do much with technical ability.
I was going to say, yeah, and off the ball as well, he's got a tendency of probably wandering off somewhere.
Yeah, so there we go. So that ain't too bad, but the rest of the little bits of development there, I mean, my Thai centre defensive midfielder, Loreng, who's again developing quite nicely at 22 years of age, hasn't really had a lot of interest in him, which has surprised me, to be fair. And Narcisio is the other one that I always like to look at, because as a going forward centre midfielder, he's been brilliant too, and the development is there for sure. I have, transfer budget wise, just £15 million this season, which isn't too bad. Training facilities 4.5 stars, but I got 28 million in the bank, 70% of the transfer revenue, thanks to obviously an okay season in the Champions League. Dad, yourself though,
yeah,
if we're looking at it, 20 goals from Mijatovic, quite low.
Yeah, disappointed.
Duarte only 19-9, but if you're going off of average rating, he was your best performer there with a 7.23. So he's probably doing everything he possibly can.
That's right,
not paying off.
And he's still getting better as well, which is nice to see.
He's also wanted.
I'd like to have seen him being over the 100 million mark, because that's what I'm thinking about selling him. Really.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's got minimum release clause of 150, so you're all right there. But yeah, he is wanted right now by a couple of players, a couple of clubs.
Real Madrid's in there as well.
Real Madrid.
So they're.
Don't sign Real Madrid, please.
I know, that's the problem.
Makes it harder for us, doesn't it?
If they offer over 100 million, he's gone.
Oh, God. Onyé Boulé's dropped down a little bit, and I think he's been pushed aside, literally pushed to the side because of Duarte's entrance into the world. But there we go. Guillermo Nunez, the new signing.
Yeah, I'm pleased with the way he's sort of picking up a little bit. So
yeah, not too bad at all.
No.
But, okay. Let's have a look then, Dad, at your finances. Not looking good.
No, I mean, the thing is, at the moment, I haven't sold any big players yet. I've kept all my players so far. So it's not looking good there for the balance. So the owner might be knocking on the door soon and saying, you have to sort of release one player.
Yeah, and they're still giving you £17 million to spend with 100% of transfer revenue. So
they know it's coming. They can probably see the value of all the players that I'm getting in and just thinking, he's going to sell one.
Yeah, they're not liquid rich, they're asset rich.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Well, let's have a quick look at the points then before we go on to season number 8. Season 7 points then are both Omega Luke with 2 and Omega Dad with 2, meaning the total points are Omega Luke with 12 and Dad with 24. The summer began with some massive bids for my players that, after a while to think about, I decided to reject, as the player is worth more to me. However, I was absolutely devastated when Barcelona matched the the £75 million release clause of Guilherme, my Brazilian striker. That would mean 5 points though to also go with the 3 points from selling Mikic to Barcelona too. And after all those players have been sold and I have spent on what I believe to be great additions for future first teamers and the replacement for the guys I sold, I still have £75 million left before the season even starts. When it did finally come around though, it was chaos, and not in the good way if you're looking at the results for Huesca. Right, well this is what happens when you don't play Real Madrid at the start of the season, Tad. 4 wins from 4.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Somehow you've managed to avoid them, so fair play. Let's have a look at the transfers that have helped you also get to that. Now, there was no players going out, interestingly. If we're looking at 2030, the year we're in, just a lot of loan signings there, and then only 19k there, because again, all loan signings. So it was just 4 players coming in. We got Kaseme here from Dortmund, £11 million German centre midfielder. Not too bad option there.
I mean, it's getting to this stage as well. If I find a player that I think could be good to sell on, I might even buy that player.
Yeah.
And I feel this is probably one of them. He's probably never going to get into my team.
I mean, yeah, you stuck him into the B team.
Yeah.
But he's obviously going to be good for there. He's played games for that. Then we got Fred Makengo, who £10 million, looks even better.
Yeah.
Swiss player as well.
And so in the same sort of position as well. So 2 good midfield players. And he's only 18, this guy as well.
Yeah, from Young Boys.
Yeah.
Fickle personality, though. That could be a down.
Yeah.
Could be a disadvantage there. But then we got 2 more players. One from Deportivo La Coruña, Allende, £3.5 million. Again, another centre defence midfielder.
Yeah.
But 17 years of age, and he looks good for 17.
He did, didn't he? That's one of the reasons why I got him. When I seen he was only 17, I thought, well, I've just got to get him in and just get him sort of playing in the reserve side, get him play time, and see how he goes then when he gets to sort of 19. See how good he is then.
Absolutely. And then finally we've got...
This is probably my better saying.
Solomon, who's a striker.
Well, I didn't score enough goals last season, so he's going to be fighting for that number 9 shirt, I feel. So this guy could score goals for me because he's quick and he knows where the back of the net is.
Yeah, he's a 4-star already.
Yeah.
He's all right. He's only out for 10 days. He's not picked up the name Luke Curse. But you can also drop to the wing should you ever play with... Oh, you are playing wingers, aren't you? You were. Anyway, £3.2 million. He's got 3 in 3 so far.
I'm definitely pleased with that.
Yeah. With a very good average rating as well. Tactically then, you haven't got any wingers because you've gone 3 up front.
Yeah. Decided to change it. I felt I needed a bit of a change. And I got 2 sort of midfield players in, like I've seen, so I think I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
So I've gone 3 up front, and Solomon's there. So
and Duarte plays in, of course, as a natural position he likes anyway.
He's scoring a lot of goals for me anyway, so I'll just put him a little bit closer, and he'll hold that ball off and just sort of slip him in through the gaps for the strikers to get onto.
Well, it's worked wonders for him too.
Yeah, he scored 3
goals. 3 goals, 2 assists.
So he's doing exactly what we know he can do.
Wow. Yeah, possibly, because he had a bad season last year compared to his first.
Well, I think both my strikers had a bad season, and I felt that's why I needed to change it. I needed a bit of a change.
Yeah.
So I'm being a bit more attacking, and my first
definitely paid off.
The first few games have paid off. Yeah. 4 games, 4 wins. So
you also beat Rennes 7-0 in a friendly.
Who were Rennes really? They're easy to beat. Anybody can beat them.
Yeah. Not Champions League football, Europa League football this year. You've got Tottenham Hotspur, speaking of easy teams to beat.
And Atlanta again.
Yeah. Aberdeen, Bran as well. Some interesting clubs in there, but I think you should be able to go through it quite
I think I'll go
comfortably.
through it, I mean, I could be the top of the group this time, but I feel I'll be very close to it, I think.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look what happened at Huesca. It was a busy one. I lost 2 players, one by choice, one by not, because I sold Noah Mikic knowing that I've got some good backup right backs there to Barcelona for a profit of over £30 million, cashing in and getting 3 points. Happy days. He got 15 assists last year, which is decent. But then I also, unfortunately, lost to Barcelona because of a release clause. Guilherme. Disappointed with that one. That one stung because obviously I had to replace a striker a couple of seasons ago, and I replaced him with Guilherme. And now I've lost him as well. So although I'm picking up points for it, it's a shame, and that's disappointing for me. 5 points for that one, which means I do have 8 points at the start of this season already. That's fantastic for me. A lot of other players have left the club, whether it's on loan or a couple of transfers. I even sold one there to Rennes. Levine, who was my left back, he's gone. A couple of other players.
I'll give them a right hammer.
That's right, yeah. Another left-back's actually left there as well. But yeah, I have brought players in. One of them from Barcelona. I've actually brought quite a lot in. So we've got, to begin with, Ali Al-Khatib, who is a striker, Syrian striker. Now, I'm trying to loan him out. He's in the under-19s because you're only allowed to register 4 foreign players. I do not have any space for him. But yeah, which is a shame, but he could be good in the future. Then we got Vangelis Glyftis, who is a Greek international as well. He's got 2 caps for Greece as well. Just turned 20. Looks a decent centre-back, to be honest. So another 6'5" Greek centre-back. Oh, that is written in the stars, isn't it? For him to be like a Roman warrior. He needs to grow a big beard.
Yeah.
And carry a big old shield onto the pitch, and then that would suit him. But he looks good, especially with the name Vangelis. He has got to be I reckon if they didn't have silly regen faces, he'd be the best looking player in my club. He'd be the one that all the ladies were after. Yeah. And gay guys. They would be after Vangelis. That's who they would be after. Anthony Riviera, who is from Nimes, £2.5 million. Now, I doubt Anthony Riviera would be the one the ladies would be after with that hair. Because he would probably be the French version of Screech from Saved by the Bell, by the looks of it. But I brought him in anyway for his quality on the pitch. Not great potential, but he was so cheap, £2.5 million, I went for it. We got Uğur Güns, who is a £7 million striking option. Again, Turkish. I'm enjoying finding some good players from Turkey. Again, good potential as well. And he looks quite good to begin with. A lot of 15s in that. Left-footed, especially with playing free up front. Having a left-footed one is always good. Then we've got Knesic, who is going to be my new goalkeeper. And he is 6'8". Jesus Christ. I think that's the tallest you can actually be in Football Manager.
The basketball player, isn't
it? So he is a big old Croatian goalkeeper. Again, not amazing potential, but current ability, I'm struggling to find a goalkeeper. You picked up Dennis Seaman earlier. I am struggling to find one. So he is going to be my goalkeeper for this season. Ivan Pavlov, £4.5 million. Not a bad right back there. Not a bad right back option. We've got Christian Vasquez, £3.7 million. Another really good option that I might not be able to register depending on the foreign player rule, because Christian Vasquez is Chilean, which takes up a foreign spot. You can see he's unhappy for some reason that we haven't strengthened the squad, but you've only been here 5 minutes, pal. What's he going on about?
Who does he think he is?
Yeah, he has scored and got 2 assists at the start of the season, so he started very well, and he looks quite good too. And again, left-footed as well. Then this is a player from Barcelona, £15 million centre midfielder, one for the future for sure, and I've loaned him out to Sporting Gijón. 2-footed, not too bad at all. Then finally, we've got another Greek player. He's 6 foot though, so he's not as good as Vangelis.
You got 24 caps.
Yeah, Napoleon Voglis.
Another great name.
Unbelievable. Unlike the real Napoleon, he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
So this guy is good, but a lot of 18s in there. Determination, decision-making, and bravery at 18 already at 20 years of age. Good La Liga player. Fits in quite nicely into our tactic there because of that DLP position. Of course, we've got the Thai international player, Lohorang, who is in there right now, who's been playing for my club for a few seasons. So he'll rotate in there quite nicely with him. But I'm going to lock in Uğur and Knesic as my 2 players in there. And if we're looking at the start of the season, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, I must be honest, because we beat Celta Vigo 5-1 and Las Palmas 8-0. And I think, I'm probably going to win the league and the Champions League this season. And then I lose to Osasuna.
And then the gates open.
And then I lose 8-1 to Barcelona. So,
the Greeks fell apart.
They really did. I did have a player sent off in that game, though, to be fair to me. And at that point, we were only 3-1 down. So it might not have been as bad. In the Osasuna game, though, a tough one, because we pulled it back level after equalising and scoring the 87th minute from being 3-1 down. Minute. And then they scored in the 95th.
Another late goal.
Yeah, Cucho Hernandez, unfortunately, the Colombian, getting a nice little goal for Osasuna to win the game. That's disappointing. We're in the Champions League, though. Maybe we can end this challenge once and for all straight away because of a Champions League run, but we've got some really tricky fixtures
Roma,
in there.
Liverpool, Man United.
Even like the easier games are hard.
They are,
Fiorentina, Monaco, Leipzig, Roma, Fenerbahce. Like, none of those are easy, is it? Especially in Fenerbahce.
Don't fancy your chances at all.
No, arguably the easiest game in there is United. They still got Ruben Amorim though.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see him lasting that long in real life, but here we go. All right, let's see then if we can complete Youth to Gold in season number 8. Will I go on to win the Champions League while Dad's not there? Probably not after losing 8-1 to Barcelona, but we shall see anyway. You know how the old saying goes, Def, Taxes and Duarte scoring 2 goals against Huesca. Yeah, it seems I'm not having a good time against Dad recently in a 6-2 loss in Valencia. It does, though, seem like Dad has built some team here, and he does well in Europe, as well as currently sitting on the same points as Real Madrid at the end of January in a title race. Another game against Dad and another Duarte goal being scored. This time, though, it was a victory for Huesca, thanks to an 89th minute own goal. That didn't stop Dad from being on a good run, though, as he currently sits top of La Liga with 8 games remaining and 4 points clear of Barcelona, who's only played 28 games. Speaking of Barcelona, after taking my best player in the summer, they knocked me out of the Champions League, while Real Madrid knocked me out of the Copa del Rey. Unfortunately for Dad, more bad results, including against his rivals Valencia, meant he dropped off in the league, and despite another Europa League semi-final, even I've overtaken him in the league as he drops down to 3rd place with Real Madrid right behind him and 2 games in hand. So now I was in the title race, and with Barcelona ahead, I carried on winning games, even beating Real Madrid in my quest to maybe capitalise on any Barcelona mistake and potentially steal a league trophy. And while I was doing that, Dad was being eliminated from the Europa League in Dortmund in a penalty shootout. So I just had to keep winning and hope that the small chance of Barcelona losing a couple of fixtures would happen. However, when it came down to it, they only lost to Real Madrid and even beat Dad's Levante on the final day 5-1 to lift the title and finish 3 points above me. Well, what do we say, eh? Barcelona is the reason that's going to stop me.
3 points, mate.
Split them.
You only lost 5 games. They both lost 6.
Yeah, one of them I did lose to you. But I think head-to-head, they probably would have done me after beating me 8-1.
Yeah.
Because I very much doubt. I mean, I did beat them, but only 3-2. So, yeah, I wouldn't have won the league even if I did have an extra 3 points. We did also win the Golden Boot, though, with Esposito. You got 32, and
he had to win it eventually, didn't he?
Yeah. So that's not too bad at all. I'm happy with that. But I'm very... not surprised, but I found it funny that it was Barcelona because they were also the reason that I was knocked out of the Champions League as well. And then Copa del Rey was Real Madrid, which actually we would have faced each other at some point if we had got through, because we would have gone all the way to the final. If both of us had managed to carry on winning, we would have avoided each other. But semi-final exit in both the Copa del Rey and the Europa League for you, Dad.
Well, that's the worst game to lose, the semi-final.
Penalties as well.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, beat Brann, who, fair play to them, the Norwegian side, get into the quarter-final.
Yeah.
8-2 on... aggregate there. Beat Rangers in the round of 16. The knockout playoff round you managed to avoid, of course, because of your league phase being very good, only losing to Aberdeen and Slavia Prague. So winning a nice little 6 fixtures there, including beating Tottenham Hotspur 2-0. Yeah. Love to see that. Who finished above you, funny enough, and went on to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny how these things go, but there we go. Anyway, the Champions League was won by PSG. They defeated Manchester United in that one. Of course, I was knocked out 4-2 there after taking the first leg 2-1, which is disappointing. But I didn't do very well at all in terms of the performance, just scraped through. Beat Inter Milan though, which was nice. Drew to Leipzig, but I lost 4 games, including 4-0 to Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, who by the looks of this is one of the best teams in the world. So think of that as what you will. We are 8 years into the future. So, okay, in terms of performances then, we are both doing very well.
Yes.
We are almost on the cusp here.
I mean, you think of 3 points away from winning the league. You've got to be happy with that.
100%, yeah.
Come in second, you've got to be happy. You're splitting the 2, and that's what we were trying to do, wasn't it? So your first team to do that, to be that close as well. So unlucky, but I'm not far behind.
No, not at all.
So I'm happy with that as well.
I'm quite surprised by the top assist there being the Turkish striker that I locked in there. So that's good to see. Now, in terms of the rest of the squad, 44 goals from Esposito across the season, which is amazing. 25. I'd say I still got a couple of seasons left, but I could cash in should I wish, and I would make a profit. Yeah, 3.2 million pound.
You're gonna make a
so
big
as long
there,
as I'm selling him for above 35 million, I'm
Yeah.
making points, which is the most important thing. Deladler, 28 goals, a lot better from him, and it looks like he is developed as well, which is good to see. The South African striker that I've got there.
His physicals are looking good as well.
Really good.
Yeah.
Narcisio looks like he's had a cracking season as well and jumped up a fair amount of ability there by the looks of it. Really happy with that. So, yeah, a lot is going on then. And Iriarte, again, one of my best players in the side, as well as
Like you said
Lucas
earlier,
Luque.
you have got a good midfield, haven't you?
Yeah. So it's been strong for me, and it's obviously helped this season, putting us into a really good spot. I'm glad with the likes of Napoleon coming in and playing a lot of games. He's got 25 games under his belt there, with 24 off the bench as well, which is great. Even Christian Vasquez played quite a fair amount of games.
Yeah.
And Vangelis, 47. So he started the majority of games at centre-back for me, which is great. Transfer budget, though, £32 million. So that's decent financially. We've got 81 in the bank thanks to the Champions League run this season, so that's good. So I'm happy with that. Over to you, Dad, and we're looking at your goals-wise. 25 and 30 there for those two boys, Solomon and Duarte.
I mean, Solomon, I'm really pleased with his first season for me. I'm banging in 30 goals.
With 15 assists.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So it proved it was a good change of tactic for me, I feel.
Yeah. Duarte, again, look at that development.
Yeah, he's just so good, isn't he? Yeah.
And 25 goals with only 7 assists this time round.
Yeah, I mean, this time he was banging them in for me.
Yeah.
So, instead of doing the assists. So, yeah.
Mijatovic with 22.
The free
as
strikers,
well.
I'm really pleased with where that performed, really. So, yeah. Good season.
Arthur Aarons is maybe somebody that we haven't really looked at a lot, but he's got 14 assists for you this season, the right back.
Yeah.
So he's...
I feel he was a good right back when I bought him. So, yeah, he's keeping his place. So, yeah. He's unhappy. I don't know why. Don't know why he's unhappy. What's he unhappy about?
Wants a new deal.
That's fair enough. You can
money.
You'll
get one
of them. Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Vargas still developing nicely as arguably your best centre-back in there. Alongside, of course, your Turkish centre-back.
Yes.
Turkey must have an unbelievable team on this in about 5 years' time, because there's so many good players that we've found alone.
Yeah.
That's come through. But transfer budget, Dad, 11 million, 63 million in the red. We're starting to see it, aren't we?
Yeah. It's getting close. I'm going to have to sell a player in a minute. And I just don't really want to at the moment.
If only Duarte was younger.
Yeah.
I'd have gone for him.
I mean, he's probably... the problem is, he's the one to sort out all the problems, isn't it? And I could just have one player sort out all the problems.
But you're the one that you don't want to get rid of.
And it's the one I don't want to get rid of.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. So, might have to happen, might not. I'm not sure yet. So, and if someone comes in, obviously this is the difference, isn't it? I'm not good. If they're wanted and someone else, Real Madrid comes in and says 100 million, they're gone in there.
Yeah.
But unless that figure comes in, I'll keep them.
Well, the thing you got to consider is the players that obviously you have in the development centre as well, that you've been obviously growing, because there's a couple of really good players in, especially in midfield. There's a lot of good, and I've got the same in my development centre. There's a couple of players that I've been sort of keeping tabs on, where they've got decent potential and they're out on loan at the minute.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting game time. Javier Cascada is another one that I think has actually come through my actual academy there, and he looks like he could be a quality player. So, you know, there's options that potentially we could bring into the fold. I mean, I've got a right back here that I've had for like 3 or 4 seasons. I've yet to really see him play that many games for me. He has actually played 16 this season, so normally I can't register him at the start. So, but yeah, he looks like a decent Egyptian right back for me. So
he's got 40 caps as well.
Yeah, it's one of them where we have got players in there that we have sort of been developing. It's just when you cash in on those bigger talents that you're in your first team and decide it's the right time to replace them.
Yeah, because the ideal thing to do is to sell a big player with already a replacement there, so you haven't got to spend that money, which helps the club out even better then.
Yeah, that's it. But then, what will happen? That's the question. But I picked up quite a lot of points this season, so that's good. I'm starting to catch up. Let's have a look at the points after season number 8. Season number 8, Omega Luke gained 11 points and Dad only gained 1, meaning the total points are Omega Luke with 23 and Dad with 25. Yes, just a couple of points behind you now.
Yes.
But again,
that's what you
the
get
thing.
when you sell players, isn't it?
Yeah, you're asset rich at the minute.
Yeah.
It just depends. If you decide to cash in on 2 or 3 of them, that points could jump straight away.
Especially if I get the big one over 100 million.
Yeah, for that Duarte, but we'll see. But that's why you gotta stick around. You gotta make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you do not miss when that Duarte bid comes in and Dad has to cash in. Could that be next season? Could that be in a few seasons' time? You'll have to find out by checking in with us again.